All right, thank you all for being here. It's great to have a few folks in here. Sorry, it's still a little chilly. And great to have a few folks online as well. I think you all know Janice by now, I'm sure. I think Janice has some great stuff for us. This is a part of Brightspace that I really have not dug too much into, so I'm really looking forward to learning about how to using some of these course analytics to keep a better sense of what's going on with our students, especially for those of us who teach more and more online, to really kind of engage with them since we might not even see them in person all that often. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Janice. We do have Bart online helping out producing, and we've got Mark here who's going to serve as the voice of the chat for our folks who are online. But go ahead and take it away, Janice.
All right. Thank you, Jay. And thanks everyone again for coming today. And our topic today is about the course analytics, providing you with some insights that are going to empower your teaching and improve student learning. I do have the workshop slides and some resources on our wiki, and you can find it at this URL. And I think they're going to drop that into the chat for you, or you can scan this QR code. As soon as the workshop recording is ready, we'll place that there as well. Before we get into these course analytics, I do want to point out, in case you missed it, we did win a 2024 D2L Excellence Award for our work on this Learn Everywhere Zula course, the LEX and the LEX Advanced. And so I think most of you went through the LEX course. If you have not, you can request enrollment into the course, or you can proceed through that. And when you finish the Learn Everywhere Zula course, the basic part of the course, then you get into LEX Advanced, and you can get LEX Advanced certified. There's certification. In our LEX Advanced, we did have a number of topics, so we do have a number of topics already. And as a matter of fact, we've done 18 so far, and today's topic will make the 19th one. But in the course, we have it set up so that you can focus in on a particular kind of topic that you might be looking for. So here are those that are for designing your courses to facilitate learning. We've got a number of topics under there. For the collaborative learning, we've got some about online discussions, group work, and VoiceThread. Some for assessing learners, where we get into academic integrity, using rubrics, the interactive rubrics, securing the testing environment, alternative assessments, etc. And then the final category, how to help learners stay on track. And our course analytics topics today fits there, and we will have another LEX Advance, our second LEX Advance workshop for this semester in October, and that one will be on how you can use Brightspace to support at-risk students. So be on the lookout for that. But as I said, today's topic is about the course analytics that are in Brightspace that are available to instructors for their courses. And with analytics, basically what you're trying to do is look at this data to find trends and answer questions. And so you'll find people trying to do analytics around all kinds of things. So in the course, how can you look at the data that's there and then to find some trends and then answer some questions? And so with learner analytics, you're gathering and examining that data about those learners and their experiences because you want to appreciate and improve on them. So that's where we're going with this. I like to start these LEX Advanced topics off by talking about how the topic relates to quality matters, because the Learn Everywhere Zula course is designed around the quality matters standards. And for this topic today, there's no specific standard that directly addresses learner analytics. However, Quality Matters focus is on effective online learning, and therefore that indirectly relates to learner analytics. So with Quality Matters, there's a focus on learner engagement, right? Engaging the learner throughout the course so that learning analytics data can inform you about the student's participation, identify areas where they are struggling, and help tailor that instruction for better engagement. Also, Quality Matters, a core principle is aligning with the learning objectives, right? Ensuring that your assessments and activities align with those learning objectives. So that learning analytics data can reveal patterns in the student performance. And so you can use that to assess the effectiveness of your learning activities and make adjustments to bridge any gaps between the activities and the objectives. And then finally, for continuous course improvement, right? Quality Matters promotes ongoing course improvement based on this data and the feedback that you may be getting. And so the analytics can provide insights into the learner behavior, your course effectiveness, enabling you to make data-driven decisions for making improvements in your course. And so I want to stop and ask you all, have you, any of you, used any of the course analytics in Brightspace to improve student learning and engagement in your courses? And if you're online, you can, okay, I can see I have not. So not yet, right? Okay, great. So hopefully after today's workshop, I will give you some information that may make you look at the analytics that are available to you and then see if there's something you want to act on. So with learning analytics, we're going to be using that data to improve the current student outcomes, but we also want to use it to inform better course design for future student outcomes. So we're looking at what's going on currently, but we also want to look down the road to help in our course design for future student outcomes. Was that a question? Okay. So when looking at that data, you want to make decisions, data-driven decisions and improvements, right? As you're looking at that data. And I've got a few areas here that you want to look at. And the first here is about learner success. So we want all the students to be successful. So we're looking at that data to see where the students struggling and then what can be done to help them improve, right? Perhaps there's some content misunderstanding. So is that what the data is saying, that the students are kind of misunderstanding that content? And if so, what can we do to assist with that? How are the students progressing through the course? Is there a normal point in the course where we see that students are struggling or where students tend to then drop the course? So what can we do to get them through, right? Even with our high achieving learners, there are some students that might be doing very well in the course. And so then addressing things that they may need, and even perhaps they can assist with helping some students who are actually struggling through the course. So getting those high achievers involved as well. And then finally, using this data to evaluate the course materials. Are the course materials effective? Are there other course materials perhaps that can be introduced to assist with the students? So in Brightspace, there are some course analytics tools that are available to instructors. And those course level analytics occur because Brightspace is creating and collecting data every time the students interact with it. So every login, when they click on a button, if they're doing a discussion post, submitting an assignment, it's recording and tracking all of that information. And there's some tools that are generally available to instructors that you can use to look and see what that data is. With the built-in reports, you can see what content is being accessed and how learners are progressing. You can compare their performance throughout the course. Their inline tool reports with detailed statistics that you can see within Brightspace. And those tools are these there, and I'll go through each one of these tools so we can see how that works. The first one is the class and user progress tool. And this tool gives you a high-level view of learner performance across the entire class. And it's helpful or useful for predictive practices and also for preventing learner disengagement. Within the progress tool, you have a number of progress indicators. And I have them here: grades, content, discussion, assignments, quizzes, checklists, surveys, and then the login history. You can get to the class progress tool by going to course admin and then class progress. When you access the class progress tool, you see the students who are enrolled in the class, and then you would see whatever progress indicator that you've set up here. You can only see 4 indicators at a time. And so what you would do is go into settings and then show whichever of the 4 progress tools that you want to display to you. So perhaps you're not using, like in this example, you're not using checklists. In that case, you might want to substitute it for something else, right? And like I said, you would do that through settings. Also here, there's a link where you can go directly to intelligent agents. And so intelligent agents help you to automate reporting and giving feedback to the students. We had a workshop on using intelligent agents, and we also have a module in the Alexa Advanced topic that talks about intelligent agents. So if you need more information about that, you can. I'm not going to get into too much detail about intelligent agents. But let's say you're looking at this class progress tool and you see something here and you would like to automate some feedback to some of the students, then you can actually go into the intelligent agents to get that done. So with the class progress tool, you can monitor the overall progress in the course. As I said, you can select those data points that are most relevant to your course, so you can only have 4 at a time. You can dive deeper into a single learner's progress and success across the course. There is a way to filter by groups or sections, and then to quickly jump to intelligent agents to automate nudges for the students. So from the class progress tool, if you click on a learner's name, this will take you into their user progress summary, where you can get more information about what's going on with that particular student. You can also view the user progress summary from the class list. So any students in your class list, if you click on the arrow to the right of their name and choose View Progress, it'll take you to the progress summary page where you can actually get information or see how they're doing in the class. You can also go directly to an area by clicking on one of the links here. So if I had quizzes in the course, for example, and I wanted to get more information about how this particular learner was doing with quizzes, then I could click on this particular link here. That being said, the class and user progress tool. So we have the tool, we can get in and look at the data that it's showing, but then once we get that data, what do we do? Or what can we do? So I decided to ask AI, and I gave Google Gemini a prompt. This prompt right here, please give me specific ways an instructor can use Brightspace's class and user progress tool to improve student learning. I did this back in June. And this is what the AI prompted me with. And so with this, notice you can use this to monitor student performance. So this would help you to identify struggling students. You can gauge the overall class understanding. It helps you to personalize the learning for that future, improve the course design, promote student engagement. And so with this, you can gain valuable insights into the student learning and take targeted actions to improve their understanding and overall course experience. Now, looking at this information, how does this strike you? Do we have any comments, concerns, questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I was trying to play with under the course admin class progress, change the I guess the columns. And when I went to settings, it has the columns that are here listed, but it doesn't give me the option to change them to like some of the ones that you had listed in the slides.
Okay, so one of the by the column that you want to swap out, I think if you click on the arrow to the right, one of the options should be replace with or something like that.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Oh, I got it. I see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. But yes, you can swap them out. And it's not obviously not straightforward as to how to do that, but yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Moving right along, we'll take a look at content reports. With content reports, you can see the overall course content statistics, and you can also see specific statistics for individual modules as well as topics. So you'll see statistics for the total number of learners, the number of learners who visited course content, and the average time they spent viewing that content. And so to get to the course content statistics, you would go to content and then click on table of contents. And then from there, you'll see the related tools button. When you click on that, you should see an option that says view reports. And then when you view the report, you should see a page that looks something like this. And this is actually from our original Learn Everywhere Zula course. There were 245 users in the class. Only 238 visited the content. And the average time spent was about 7 hours. So this gives us some information or an indication as to what's going on with the content. You can also drill down, like here's module 3 for the learning objective. So when I drill down, I can see that this content topic was available to 245 users. And then these number of users visited the various content topics, and then the amount of time that was spent. And so this is about what I would have expected. Like the learning objectives, learn more, on average, about 18 minutes was spent there. Taking action, about 15 minutes. And then the reflection, about 25. So, like I said, the content statistics can give you kind of an idea. You can also click on this users tab to get information about the users. And I blurred out these names because this is some actual data. But the users visited 61 topics. 61 topics were available. They visited 51, so on and so forth. So you can get some statistics from the content. I also want to stop and say that this uses click tracking data. So this is going to tell us a lot about how learners are engaging with the course, but it's not dependable or foolproof enough to be used as data for learner assessments, and it should be paired with qualitative feedback from the learners to capture a holistic picture. Because it is possible someone may have clicked on a topic, but were they actually looking at that? Did they walk away from the computer? Those kinds of things. So it gives you some general information or general idea about what's going on. Okay. And then the same thing with this. And also, I should have mentioned on the wiki page that I created for this workshop, the wiki resource page, you will actually find this information from the AI as to ways that you can use the statistics for this particular tool. You'll find that information there. So for the content reports, this may help you to understand, like I said, how students are interacting with the course material, identify areas requiring attention. Maybe there's something with low view rates or limited engagement time, help you to tailor your content delivery. So you can gain some valuable insights and adapt your teaching methods to better suit the student's need, ultimately improving the learning outcomes. So looking at this one, what do we think about what AI has provided to us here? Or if you think looking at content reports might help you in some way?
I think especially at this time because the alerts are due Friday.
Yeah.
I've done that in the past. I've looked at the data just to get a quick view and found it really helpful.
Thank you for sharing that. And I agree. All right. The next area that I want to talk about is the discussion statistics. So you can get statistics by forums and topics, or you can get the statistics for the overall course. The user stats going to show you how many threads and replies each learner posted and how many posts they've read, including their own. And so when you get into the discussions tool, there's a tab for statistics, and it defaults into the users. And so you get to see up here the overall, what's going on overall. So there's all forums, a total of 607 threads in this case. And this is still from the Learn Everywhere Zula course. And then 430 replies. But if we look at the users here, this first user created 3 threads and did 1 reply, read 24. The second user created 3 threads, didn't reply to anything, but only read 3. So, maybe you can glean some information from that about the users, but that information is there. And then on the forum and topics, you can also get some overall information about your forums and topics as well, including if you had the post ratings. So when you're creating your forums and your topics, you can indicate whether or not The students can use a star rating or up or down. And so if you had that, you would see those stats in here as well.
Janice, is that if they rated something like with
Yeah.
a star, or if what they did received?
So that's they would be using a star or an up or down rating. So that's an option when you're creating that forum to say that you want to enable that. And then the student, like if somebody posts something, one of their classmates posts something and they thought that it was an excellent post and they wanted to give it a 5-star, then they could give it a 5-star or up or down. Yeah. So that option is in there and available. Yes. Thank you for that question. All right. And then same thing here for how can you use discussion forum statistics to improve learning? You can gauge participation and identify struggling students, perhaps based on their activity level or maybe their contribution distribution, right? Analyze discussion quality and address misconceptions. I like this third category, improve discussion prompts and techniques. So if they're low response rates, analyze if your prompts are clear. Are they open-ended enough? Do they encourage critical thinking? And once again, what do we feel about this suggestion from the Gemini AI? Has anyone used discussion forum statistics or looked at those to try to? No. Oh,
I have not, but I do like the idea that if someone is posting things that they can rate it, because I feel like this is something they probably do on social media when they watch a video or something. So I think that they would possibly engage more with this type of application.
yes, yes. I think you're right. I agree. Yes. But that, like I said, that is available. And when you're creating the forum, you would have to just enable that as an option. And perhaps let the students know that they can do that. But yeah, thank you. All right. Next one I want to talk about is our quiz statistics. So with the quiz statistics, you can get user stats, question stats, as well as statistics on the question details. That's detailed information for your quizzes. And so if you go to activities and quizzes, there is a statistics tab. And if you go to statistics tab, you'll see the quiz averages here. And to actually drill down, you would just click on any one of the quizzes that you're interested in getting additional stats about. Another way to get to the quiz statistics is just from the Manage Quizzes tab. Click on the arrow to the right of the quiz name and choose statistics. So either one of those ways would get you to the stats for that quiz. And on the user stats tab, this gives you information about the users who took the quiz. You get the class average and the standard deviation. And notice here, this is actually based on the user's first attempt on the quiz. So any statistics you see here is going to be based on first attempts. So if you give students multiple attempts to take a quiz, that second, third, whatever attempt is not going to be considered here in these statistics, right? Also, yes.
Okay, so like I can see for myself, and I'm just curious, is it also visible to students?
You can show students in the grades book, you can show them stats, overall stats based on the class.
Like the regular class statistics compared to them individual one.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
I said, I can see from my side as an instructor. I'm just wondering, is it also visible to students so they can see like the other student statistics as well? I never checked that one before. The student.
Right. So I believe the question is, you can see this as the instructor, but you want the students to be able to see something.
I'm asking, yeah.
The stats.
Yeah.
Right. And so in the grade book, the column, the grade item in the grade book for the quizzes, there is an option where you can show the statistics. You can make that visible for that grade item.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also want to point out here that while we can see these quiz statistics for that first attempt, these quiz statistics are not computed for questions in a question pool. So if you're pulling questions from a question pool, you won't see quiz statistics for those. You will see the overall grade, but when you come in here to the question stats, you won't be able to see the standard deviation and the discrimination index or this point biserial. It's just not available in this statistics tool that's that you have access to as the instructor. But on the question stats tab, you can drill down and see on question number 1, overall the students did pretty well. But on question number 2, there were perhaps some issues. And so this gives you an opportunity to look at the questions and see where the students might have been struggling. And then the question details. Oh, I also wanted to point out there's a link on this page that says, what do these statistics mean? So you can click on this link to get additional information about what the stats that the system is trying to show you. What does that mean? So on the question details, you can get additional information here that tells you even more about what's going on. And it is still for the first attempt. There is also this link where you can go in and say, what are these, the statistics on this page? What does that mean? And again, this is only based on the first attempt at the quiz, and you're not going to see detailed statistics for any questions coming out of a question pool.
So, Ms. Janice, if you use the quiz more than once, so if I use it in the spring when I teach and then I use it again in the summer, the question details and the question stats, is it going to be for both groups of test takers, or is it going to be just for the ones who just took it?
Is this a single course that the students are from one semester or another is enrolled in the same course, or it's a new course created each semester?
It's a new course created each semester.
Right. Then anybody that takes that course in the spring, you'll be able to see the first attempts for those students. Anybody that takes the summer course, you'll be able to see the first attempts for those students as well. Yeah, I don't think I'm answering your question.
So if I'm teaching the same course in the spring and summer, and in the summer I want to use the same quiz questions, when I get these stats, is it going to give me the stats just for the summer test takers, or is it merging everyone who's ever taken the quiz?
No, it's for the summer test takers. So in that summer course,
okay,
when you go in and look at the statistics for that summer course, then you will see what the students did that summer.
Okay.
You can export out these stats. You can export that out. So you could export out the statistics from the spring course and the summer course if you wanted to somehow put that in another tool to do some comparison. You would be able to do that. I do want to point out that the tools that we're looking at that are available to you all are the ones that come standard with Brightspace that we have. They do have a Performance Plus package that has insights that we don't have. And so with that, you'd actually be able to do a lot more, look at a lot more. Like I'm saying here, the stats don't, you don't see stats for questions that are coming from a question pool, but that information would be something that would be available in the Performance Plus package. Also multiple attempts, or if you're trying to compare between semesters, that sort of stuff would be available in there. We don't have that package. So I'm showing you all what we have right now, what you have at your disposal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. And so once again, I asked Gemini to give me some specific ways you can use quiz statistics to improve student learning. And you can identify areas of difficulty. Are there low average scores on a specific questions? Is there a high miss rate on a particular answer choice, right? And what can we do if we see that? Allow you to adapt instruction, enhance student engagement, provide targeted feedback. How do we feel about this one?
So I have used this before in the classroom. It's a little bit easier sometimes to use than ExamSoft, which is another platform that we use for our assessments in the College of Pharmacy.
Mhm.
And I usually use these in the summer when I have a small class and I want to kind of like play with and learn more about our options within Brightspace. So I have used the quiz statistics, and there's also a way where you can pull up the students' actual quiz to show them and give them the feedback as well.
Yes, great. Thank you for sharing that. All right, and then I want to move on to grade statistics. And so these are statistics from the grade book, right? You can get class statistics and user statistics for any grade items that are in the grade book. Aggregate and individual stats related to grades. So from grades, you would go to manage grades, click on the arrow next to the grade item, and then view statistics. And you would see the class statistics. And here it says no number of submitted grades. In this example here is showing 20 out of 25. I see my min, max, average, and median. And then I have my mode. Statistics is not my forte. So when I saw mode, I'm like, what is a mode? You can get user stats as well. But a mode is the most frequently earned grade on the grade item. So if I go back to this example, the most frequently earned grade on this grade item was 60%. That's kind of a problem, right? But anyway, you can, like I said, get information about the grade items in your grade book. And so using grade statistics to improve learning, Gemini AI suggests identifying areas of difficulty. Are there low class averages? Is there a high standard deviation, right? If it is, then that indicates a large spread in the scores. Some students grasped the concept while others fell behind. Maybe there might be room for some differentiated instruction or something. And again, down here, it's important to remember grades are just one piece of the puzzle. Consider them alongside other forms of assessment and student behavior to get the complete picture. Don't focus solely on overall averages. Analyze the distribution of scores to identify areas where the class needs the most help. Any comments, suggestions? If not, we will move on to rubrics. And so your rubric statistics that are available, you can get granular statistics for the criterion outlined in the rubric. And to get to the rubrics, you would go to Course Admin and then Rubrics. You would see your list of rubrics, and then from there, you click on the arrow to the right and choose View Statistics. From the View Statistics, you would click on the Competency Activities tab. And here you would see, and they call these objects, but you would see any item or activity that was actually graded using that rubric. And here, this particular rubric, there were a number of assignments, submissions that were graded with that. You get some details about it, the number of assessments that were done with each in each of these using that rubric, the average level, and then the average score. You can drill down deeper by clicking on the little icon here in the action column. And when you do that, you get some overall statistics for this assignment, number of submissions, and you get drilled down to the details about this rubric. If you click on the Criterion Statistics tab, you'll get additional detailed information about each criteria. And then you can get the individual statistics as well. So once again, using AI, how can I use rubric statistics to improve learning? You can identify common strengths and weaknesses, do some targeted instructions. I can refine the rubric design. If one criterion is consistently yields low scores, it might be unclear, need better descriptors. Provide targeted feedback. All right, so how do we feel about this one? All right. I will move on to the last one, is the survey statistics. Now with surveys, you can gather anonymous or non-anonymous opinions and information from your learners. To get to the surveys, go to Course Admin and then Surveys. And then whichever survey I'm trying to get statistics from, I click on the arrow to the right and choose Statistics. And I can view overall, the overall results. And when I do that, I can see the detailed information about this particular survey. You can also export survey data through the reports function in the survey tool. So when you're creating the survey, if you set up reports, you can get data out from the survey tool. And once again, finally, asking AI, how can I use these survey statistics to improve learning? I can use that to gauge student understanding, improve the learning environment. So perhaps I do a survey asking the students for their feedback, maybe even like a mid-course survey. can use it to help enhance my course design. And then this, I like this, it ends with, it's important to design surveys effectively, use clear, concise questions, and a mix of open-ended and closed-ended formats to gather both specific and nuanced feedback. Any comments about this one?
Are we able to determine if the students have reviewed like the feedback that we give them when we grade their surveys? Or grade their assignment?
If you're using the assignment tool and you publish it,
Yes.
you will be able to see if the student has actually read the feedback. It will say feedback read or something like that.
Okay.
So you can go in and see that information. Yes. Was there a comment?
No, that was for me. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just want to end with this. For your learning analytics strategy, here's some key considerations. Start with what you want to learn about your students, and then what data is going to answer that question. Definitely utilize the intelligent agents and release conditions to help automate and simplify your workflows. Also consider the following factors. Does it make sense to intervene by contacting students who are struggling? Or is it best to send an announcement to the entire class, right? What are going to be the benefits and the consequences if you were to implement a change to the course immediately or waiting until a future semester? If you do make course-wide changes, how are you going to communicate those to the students? Also, you want to be careful about bias. So when you are using your analytics, use them to identify areas for improvement, but not to label your students. Use multiple data points to get more complete picture of the student learning, and be open with your students about how their data is being used. And for continuous course improvement, keep track of the changes that you're making, and then take time to analyze whether the change was effective. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? I'll take that silence as I'm good to go.
I want to thank Ashley for that last question that she asked about the comments. So thank you, Ashley, for asking.
Yes, thank you, Ashley. All right. And so finally, develop a plan and take small steps. So hopefully at this point, you're a thumbs up or moving toward a thumbs up as to whether or not learning analytics can help empower your teaching and improve student learning. If you're not already subscribed to our cat food blog, I suggest that you do subscribe. You'll find us at cat.zula.edu/food. And there's a subscribe button in the upper left corner of the page. And again, you can find the workshop slides when the recording is ready. You'll find it there, and resources on our wiki at catwiki.zula.edu/analytics. And finally, you will earn a badge for attending this workshop. You'll earn the Course Analytics badge. And just because I can, I will give you some confetti. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, Janice.
All right. I
Thank
see
you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.